What's up, everybody? Nick Dwyer back for the 10th inning here with another episode of This Day in Sports History. In yesterday's episode, we saw the Iron Horse, Lou Gehrig, become the only selection in the 1939 MLB Hall of Fame class. We don't have any MLB Hall of Fame inductions today, but we do have an NFL championship to talk about, we have some Heismans to get into, and we have an Australian Open to talk about. So if y'all enjoy this video, leave a like on it. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Let's get to it. This Day in Sports History. We'll start today out in 1881 in Major League Baseball, and the National League would adopt a few new playing rules, some of which still sound familiar. A 3-foot corridor along the first baseline would be adopted for the first time. Runners could no longer be put out, returning to their bases after a foul ball which was not caught. The fine for pitchers hitting batters would be repealed, and the block ball rule allowing runners to take as many bases as possible on balls going into the crowd would be repealed. Switch sports from Major League Baseball to the NFL, and we have the NFL Championship in 1940, and the Chicago Bears would defeat the Washington Redskins 73-0 in the most one-sided, lopsided victory in NFL history. This would also be the first NFL title game broadcast on national radio. Move up all the way to 1973 now in tennis, and Ilie Nastase would win his third consecutive season-ending ATP Masters Grand Prix 6-3, 7-5, 4-6, 6-3 over Tom Oker. Over to college football now in 1977 at the 43rd edition of the Heisman Trophy Award, running back Earl Campbell out of Texas would win with 1,744 yards on the season, 18 touchdowns, for a total of 1,547 points to second place's 812. Back to tennis now in 1984 at the Australian Open in the women's final, Chris Evert would defeat Helena Suková 6-7, 6-1, 6-3 to win her second Australian Open and her 16th of 18 Grand Slam single titles. 1 year later, stay at the Australian Open, this time moved to the men's side, and Stefan Edberg would win his first career Grand Slam singles title, defeating defending champion Mats Wilander 6-3, 6-3, 6-3 in straight sets. Up to college football now in 2001, and we have the 10th edition of the SEC Championship game, and number 21, LSU, would upset number 2 ranked Tennessee 31-20. Also in 2001, the Heisman would be announced, and quarterback Eric Crouch out of Nebraska would win on the season 1,510 passing yards, 7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Not great, but then on the running side, 1,115 rushing yards, 18 touchdowns, and 1 receiving touchdown. And Crouch would win with a total of 770 votes to second place's 708. Stay with the Heisman this time in 2007, and Florida quarterback Tim Tebow would win the Heisman in his sophomore season, making him the first sophomore ever to win the Heisman Award. And on the season, Tebow, 3,286 yards, 32 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, plus 895 rushing yards and 23 touchdowns. Tebow on the season would win it with 1,957 points to second place's 1,703. Move up to 2011 now. We have both the NBA and MLB to talk about. Start in the NBA, and the NBA and the Players Union would reach a financial agreement to end a 161-day lockout, shortening the season by 16 games. Games would officially start that season in January. Then in Major League Baseball, 3-time MVP Albert Pujols would sign a free agent contract deal with the Los Angeles Angels for 10 years, $254 million. At the time, the second largest ever. Move up 1 year to 2012, and we have a Heisman to talk about and a boxing matchup to talk about. Let's start in boxing, and Juan Manuel Marquez would knock out Manny Pacquiao in round 6 for the WBO light welterweight title. And this would bring the series between those two to 2-1-1 in favor of Manny Pacquiao. Then at the Heisman in 2012, Johnny Manziel, quarterback for Texas A&M, we already had the first sophomore ever to win it on this list. Now we have the first freshman to ever win it in Manziel. And on the season, 3,706 yards, 26 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, to go along with 1,410 rushing yards, 21 touchdowns. Manziel would score 2,029 points to second place's 1,706 to win the award. Finally, in 2017, in Major League Baseball, we have another free agent deal, again, for the Los Angeles Angels. In one of the most anticipated signings of the offseason, pitcher slash DH slash outfielder Shohei Ohtani would agree to a deal with the Angels. And because he was not yet 25, international bonus rules did apply. The Angels also needed to pay his former team in Japan the $20 million posting fee, but the Angels would officially get Shohei Ohtani, who did go on to win Rookie of the Year. So there you have it. That's what happened on this day in sports history. If I left anything out, I do apologize. If I mispronounced any names, I also apologize. But I'll see everybody tomorrow for Nick Dwyer and the 10th inning.